All right, before we get into the video, all right, I'm holding this camera handheld, so it's gonna be a little shaky. I just want to show y'all something. I'm gonna go into administrative and privacy, check for updates. Let's check for updates. All right, this is the 2020-2021 Vizio M Series Quantum, the H1, the new version. Just going to show you all that it is up to date. All right. Still checking. Still checking. TV is up to date. All right. Does everybody see that? All right. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is Value Tech Sense, where I show you how to get the best tech for less. My G1, which is up here on top, I'm actually going to take that one offline. If you hear me repeat that in the video, I just wanted to intro this because I want everybody to know that I am on the latest firmware update on the H1. All right, I just turned on my G1 up top. The G1 just came on, and I'm going to back this up and look at the difference. G1 is officially going offline, man. All right. These are what black levels are supposed to look like. And these are what the black levels look like on the H1. All right. So this bad boy right here, angle viewing, it doesn't matter. You see the black levels. Total difference. All right. So if you bought an M8 from last year, man, on the strength of my videos, see what you got. No need to upgrade. Let's get it. Like, comment, subscribe. You wanna save money? On the best tech. Value Tech Sense. Value Tech Sense. Welcome to another video. I'm gonna get straight into it, man. I'm gonna get straight into it. All right, not wasting any time with the intro. This is for all my M8 owners, 2019 M8 owners, M Series, Vizio M Series Quantum 2019 owners, everybody that bought that TV last year on the strength of my videos, or even if you didn't see my videos and you have the M8 from last year, right? And you were wondering if you should upgrade from your M8 from last year, 2019, the G1 to the H1 of this year. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, off the rip, there's no need to upgrade. All right. So if you have a Vizio M Series Quantum 2019, a G1, there is no need to upgrade, variable refresh rate or not. All right. If you don't have a G1 and you have an H1, all right, this video hopefully will go to Vizio software team and they can start working on their next firmware update. All right. So if you have an H1, the H1 has a lot of potential. It's not a bad TV at all. It's glitchy. All right. It is a glitchy TV, but it has a lot of potential. But we don't pay for potential. We want product. When we spend our money, we want product. So Vizio, if you're watching, this video is for you. And it's for the H1 owners. All right. But if you got the G1, you're all set. All right. Now, the H1 had a recent firmware update that addressed the variable refresh rate issue that it was having as it was glitching out. But what it did not address was the local dimming. All right. The local dimming. Now, my G1 is on top from last year and the H1 is on the bottom. As you can see, the black levels are way better on the G1 than the H1. All right. Both of these TVs have 90 local dimming zones. So there is no reason why the G1 should have better black levels than the H1. Y'all should have went with the same juice, the same algorithm you had last year. But I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, the viewing angles on the G1 is better. The local dimming algorithm on the G1 is better. And the contrast ratio on the G1 is better, right? And I'm gonna show you all three of these examples in this video. But if you got the G1, all right? If you have the G1, you are straight, all right? As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about taking my G1 offline and just using my streaming devices. Not to say that Vizio does that kind of shady stuff. I'm just, you know, they putting out patches. I don't know what y'all doing in these patches, man. I don't want my G1 patched at all, all right? Matter of fact, I got people in my comment section that bought G1s for $400 for the 65-inch. If I find a G1 65-inch for $400, I'm copping that, all right? But enough with all of that. I'm getting right into the video. Vizio software team, y'all check this out, man. First, we're gonna start with the viewing angles, all right? I'm gonna stop the video and I'm going to the angle of the TVs. Okay, we back in this. Angle viewing. This picture washes out from an angle very quickly. This is the H1. This is the G1. Angle viewing. Look at the difference in the angle viewing of the H1 on the bottom and the G1 on the top. Even from the angle, and I can get a deeper angle. I mean, look how the G1 is holding it down, even from the side. And nobody sits this much to the side from the TV, right, to watch it. Usually if somebody's sitting to the side, they're at least over here so they can watch the movie with everybody else in the room. But angle viewing, I mean, look how washed out it is, man, compared to the G1. I told y'all last year, man, there was no better value on the market for the money. And right now, there still ain't a better value on the market, in my opinion. Black levels, dark. This is a dark room. It's blacked out in here. All right? Dark room. It's supposed to show that's why I shoot my videos in the dark, so you can see the flaws. Look at the G1. Look at the H1. All right? Let's go to the local dimming counter, right? Where you can count the zones. I actually recorded that earlier. I'm just gonna put it in right here, and then we're gonna get to something else. But let's go to the zones, man, so I can show you Vizio, man. Your local dimming algorithm, the zones, the transitions, man, they're too slow. You got slow zone transitions. It's too much blooming. The G1 is just killing this TV. All right, let's get to that, man. Let's keep it moving. All right, so here we are. Let me try to get back some. All right, this is a full array local dimming counter. All right, where you can count the zones. I'm just gonna start this up. They both have 90 local dimming zones. All right, 90 local dimming zones. Let's start it up. G1 on the top, H1 on the bottom. I mean, what's really popping with that, man? They both got 90 local dimming zones. Now, the G1, you can count the zones. You see them? See how fast they're moving? Boom. See that? Boom. But those zones are so tight and so tightly controlled. All right? Now, if I come down here Man, what is this, G? Come on, bro. This is what I'm saying, man. These zones are huge, man. Compared to this G1 right here, man. Now watch, it's gonna go to the corner. Look at that. You saw how slow that went off? Look how slow the transitions are. That light right there should have been off. Look how slow it is. Slow zone transitions, man. Go up here. Look at that. Let me try to get this. I mean, it's so hard to show you on the G1. That's how tightly controlled it is, man. Look at that. See, when that next zone kicks in, that other zone cuts off. Watch this. Boom. This right here is like... Now watch when it goes from corner to corner. When this square leaves and goes to the other corner, watch how long it takes for this to go off. You saw how slow that was? Very slow, man. It's the H1 zones, the G1. Look how tightly controlled the zones are. I mean, y'all got the juice with the G1, man. That's why the HDR is so good, man. Because those black levels are just amazing on this G1. I get down here, man, it's a lot of bloom, man. So when there's highlights, right? When there's highlights, this whole area is lit, man. And they got the same amount of zones. 90 zones. 90 zones. Now I showed y'all how when it went to this corner, how slow this was. Now watch this. Corner to corner. Let me try to get it. When it leaves the corner. Look at that. It's black. It's like it's gone. Look how tight these zones are. And look at these zones. That's an issue, man. Okay, so now that you have seen how slow the zone transitions are with the local dimming algorithm, let's get into the contrast. All right, contrast. Now, one of the single most important things about a television as far as picture quality is concerned is its contrast ratio. All right, contrast. Now what I'm gonna do, right? Let me go to my phone here, right? Let's zoom in on that. Make it clear. All right. On my phone, Game Room TV is the H1. I will go to picture. It is set on calibrated dark. All right. I will go to advanced picture. Active full array is on medium. All right. This is the default calibrated dark mode. All right. Now, if I move any of these settings and change the picture settings, right, that will throw it out of whack. I am not using any custom settings. I am going straight default. So I'm going to go into, go back to picture. I'm going to go to advanced picture. Nope, sorry about that. Let's go to picture mode edit. Picture mode edit, reset the picture mode. You see that? Is that clear enough for you? Let's zoom in on that, all right? Reset the picture mode. So when I hit reset picture mode, it says, are you sure you want to reset the picture mode? I will hit reset to let everybody know it is on its default calibrated dark mode. And in calibrated dark, right, active full array is set to medium. For everybody out there that says, you know, I don't show the settings before I show y'all what I'm showing y'all with this TVs. Look, man, I'm not trying to trick y'all into anything. I'm really trying to show y'all what's good with these TVs, man. But for the people out there that feel like I'm not honestly showing y'all what's really good with the TV, let's go over to Office TV. That is the G1. Let's go to settings. Let's go to picture settings. It is set to calibrated dark. If I go to picture mode edit, I do not have, sorry about that, let's get it in focus. I do not have the option to set it to its default because it is default. But what I'm gonna do, mess around with the settings, mess it up a little bit, right? Come out of that. Let me go to picture. Let me go down to picture mode edit. It will give me the option to reset the picture mode. Reset the picture mode. That's what I'm gonna do. Are you sure you want to reset? Yes. So now we're on the default calibrated dark mode, and in calibrated dark on the G1 and the H1. If I go to more picture, the active full array is set to medium. Can everybody see that? All right. Active full array set to medium. So we're on calibrated dark on the G1 and the H1. All right. So let's go ahead and go to a contrast pattern, right? Let's see how they compare contrast wise. As you can see on this contrast pattern, all right, I don't know how visible this is going to be to you, but I'm just going to tell you with my own eyes. Even though the H1 is rated as being up to 800 nits and the G1 on top is supposed to be up to 600 nits, I'm going to tell you right now, in the default calibrated dark setting, the G1 is brighter than the H1. Okay, the blacks are blacker and those white boxes are whiter. And if you look at those symbols in those black boxes, those symbols on the G1 on top are a lot brighter than the symbols on the H1. So when you're watching HDR content, when you're watching HDR movies, when you're playing HDR games, all right, that contrast ratio is what makes your picture pop. All right. It's the relationship, it's the dynamic range, the relationships between the darkest parts of the screen and the brightest parts of the screen. And those symbols on the H1 are very dim. So because those symbols are brighter in those black boxes on the G1, when you have contrast, when you have specular highlights, right, what's going to make your image look 3D, give you that 3D HDR dimensional, that give you that look, right? That's what makes you have that look. How bright those symbols are with that darkness around it, without blooming, all right? Let's go to the next pattern, all right? Now, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the G1 is brighter than the H1, even though it's advertised at 600 nits and the H1 is advertised at 800 nits. It is brighter. Hopefully Vizio can get on this and fix this, but right now, the last year's model was brighter in the same picture mode. Right here. I don't know if you can see this on camera. I'm just explaining to you what I see with my own eyes. All right. Now the screen is supposed to get as dark as it's supposed to get dark. It should be looking like almost off at this point. It should get as dark as it could get. But on the H1, if you can see this, it is much more illuminated than the G1. You can hardly see the G1. The G1 is on. It's not an OLED, but it does not, the H1 does not get as dark as the G1, period. Now, this HDR pattern right here, the white boxes with the black background, as you can see, there's a lot more blooming on the H1 than the G1. Okay, the local dimming on the G1 is holding it down. That's some tightly controlled local dimming right there. I don't see why the H1 could not have the same local dimming algorithm as the G1. Okay? If they could put all of the new features, the variable refresh, all this other stuff they got going on, right, and have the same performance of the G1, they'll have a monster. They'll have a monster. But right now, picture quality is everything, especially to me. Variable refresh rates, all that extra little sauce or whatever they putting in these TVs, without that picture quality, without those black levels, without that contrast ratio, I mean, it's not hitting. Not to me. Not to me. All right. And I'm going to show you all that with real world content. I'm going to show you how this blooming, right? How these black levels, not being as black as the G1, how that translates to real world content. All right. Let's just jump off of this. Right. And I'm going to go with what I started the video with before I even started the video. We're going to the, let's go to the Star Wars. All right. Let's go to the Star Wars. As you can see, the black levels on the G1 are a lot better than the H1. Just kicked in the HDR mode on both TVs. All right. The black levels are just better on the G1. And I'm going to show you how that contrast ratio affects your movies, your games, whatever it is. You're about to see it right now. And while I'm taking my G1 offline, all right? As this loads up, man, like I said, man, I don't make these videos, man, to bash Vizio. I make these videos so they can see the things that they need to fix. All right? So they can see what they need to fix. Because right now, this H1 is not messing with this G1. And you're about to see that. You are about to see how contrast ratio affects your overall picture quality. All right, let's get this started. Look at the black levels on the H1. Look at the black levels on the G1 on top. Big difference. Big difference. I know it takes me a while to get videos out to y'all, man. I'm not a professional reviewer, all right? Nobody sends me TVs in the mail. I don't get a TV for 2 or 3 days and have to flip reviews for y'all, man. When I buy a TV, that TV's auditioning to stay in my house, right? I'm trying to add this TV to my ecosystem in my home. And every TV I get, I run them through the same paces. I run them through everything. It takes me a while to watch movies on them. I watch 4K movies on them. I watch Netflix on them. I watch Prime on them. I play games on them. And I see what's really good with the TVs. And then I share it with y'all. All right. Let's go to collection. I'm just going to go over here to this Palpatine scene that I had started at the beginning of the video just to show you the difference of the black level. Now look at this. Look at the difference. All right. Everything I was trying to explain to y'all, right? As far as contrast ratio, how important contrast ratio is. That's what gives you that pop. That's what gives you that HDR. That's what gives you that three-dimensionality. All right. Now, let me zoom in on this bottom one, right? Just gonna zoom in and get close. Look at how, let me zoom in, let me get it in focus. Look at how gray the black levels are. Right? When you was looking at those black and white boxes, and on those black boxes, those white symbols weren't as bright in those dark areas as they were on the G1. This is how this affects what you see in real world content. Now let's just slide up here to the G1 and look how those speckles are popping in all that darkness. All right, I had the TCL 635 in here. The 635 wasn't messing with my G1 from last year. All right, it had black levels, but it had a lot of blooming and a lot of crushing. You were not gonna get those speckles on that TCL 635. I got a final thoughts video on that TV coming up that I've been working on. I know it's taking a while to get that out to y'all, but I want to give y'all the most information I could give y'all so y'all make informed decisions when y'all buying stuff. That TV wasn't messing with the G1 as far as contrast and overall picture quality, and you'll see that in that video. And right now this H1, it's not messing with it. It's not messing with it. Look at that. Two totally different pictures going on right here, man. Just look at the black levels. And look at those speckles. Man, let me take this off the tripod. Let me get close, man. I want to show y'all this. And we're going to end the video on that note. All right. We're going to end the video on that note. Here's the H1, right? Calibrated dark. Let me get it in focus. Calibrated dark. Very gray. That's another thing, man. TV be glitching. When you watch movies, you see how it just flipped and turned that HDR10 thing just happened. That happens when you watch movies. That's why I say the TV's glitchy. I could be watching a movie on the H1 and that HDR10 thing will just flip in several times while you're watching movies. That's another issue. We're going to get into the sound issues in another video because I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm trying to address everybody's concerns in the comments section. Look at this, man. Look at how gray these black levels are. And these little speckles right here, they are not popping. They're there, but they're not popping. They're not giving you that 3D look because the black levels aren't there. Now let me go up here to the G1. Totally different. Totally different. Those speckles are popping. I mean, because the background is so dark. The background is so dark, man. Look at that. It's a big difference in this and this. Big difference. So, if you got the G1 from last year, should you upgrade to this H1 right now? That's a hot no. Hell no. I'm taking my G1 offline, my G's, straight up. Now, ratings said that PQX, those P series, they actually fixed the local dimming algorithm, and when they rated it, they gave it a better rating. They actually said that I think the PQX rating got like an 8.0 for local dimming. So that's what the H1 owners need. They need a local dimming patch. All right. So I'm putting it out there. So all my H1 owners, if you missed out on the G1, I'm trying to get these patches for y'all, man, because there ain't no reason why last year's G1 is busting this H1. All right. I'm still going to get the PQX, the 2020 PQX. Hopefully they get all these issues fixed. If not, man, I might mess around and get me a PQX G1, man. I'm gonna buy the 2021 PQX, but if they ain't got this ironed out, man, I might end up with a G1 because I want a PQX. All right, so that's the video, man. I hope this helped y'all out. I hope they get these patches out for everybody that's got these H1s that really like those TVs. And till the next time, man. Thanks for watching.